You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Batman and Robin, number 11, written by Joshua Williamson, Juan Ferreira on art and colors, Steve Wands on letters, Simone DeMeo on the cover for some reason. I'm used to having those extra names. The thing about, one point I asked Juan if he did his own inks, and he told me he don't do inks. So that was the deal, the way that he does it. So it's pretty cool.
He does pencils and brushes.
Yeah, like you're playing the drums. And you start out, and one of the biggest problems I've had with this book is the art. There's times where things seem big and I don't know what the hell's going on. And you have these crazy, like everything was more about the style and layout over storytelling. Juan comes in and I'm like, pretty good. Like I can follow this. It's like,
even when we have like this style that Juan does for the over thing, like when we get back to Gotham and Damian and Bruce are in the, and I was going to say row home, but like the brownstone that they have in Gotham. And it has an open thing where you can go down into that like pseudo Batcave that they have down there. Like I just love when we have that when Juan does that with all the different series that he's done so far.
He always does. He did it with the Suicide Squad the one time. It's
Green
cool.
Arrow.
You'd see like a bunch of people hanging in the cells and stuff like that, and it looks really, really cool. And he does a unique type of paneling and things like that throughout. But when you go in, they're heading off to Dinosaur Island because Maya had sent a message that indeed she found Bane.
Morgan Ducard's daughter Maya, nobody?
Yeah, nobody.
The granddaughter of Henri Ducard?
And we were happy when we saw her. Goliath is here looking great and looking more like humanized at one point, but still looks great. But you end up where Batman's kind of like tailing behind. Like he doesn't know what's going on. But
the thing is, I'm actually mad because we have the Batwing with Batman flying and Damian's riding Goliath to Dinosaur Island because the intel they got is Bane is there and we're finally going to confront the man that killed Alfred. The man that still tormented Damian's mind ever since his father figure, Alfred Pennyworth, was murdered in front of him. We're finally going to have that conclusion to that, even though it feels like we're a bit tad too far for that, and I feel like we kind of did stuff with that already, but maybe not exactly. But the idea that Damian's going to ride from Gotham City to Dinosaur Island on Goliath, I'm like, that poor Goliath, he's going to be so tired.
He is going to be tired. One other thing that I don't really love in this, though I think I like this issue a lot more than a lot that we've gotten in the series, but the idea of Damian he's going to see Bane and he's going to get and Batman doesn't really do anything to, like, he says at one point, like, hey, calm down. Like, this is something you really need to talk to him about.
This is something you need to deal with, but we've gone, I'll tell you, even bringing in Maya back into this to have that connection to Morgan Ducard, who Damian killed at the beginning of the New 52 Batman and Robin deal. This is the progression from then to now of everything that Damian has learned from all of his time and becoming the softer side of Damian that we've seen through Joshua Williamson's Robin run. I think it's one of those things like it's, sink or swim. Like, obviously he trusts his son because of all the progress he's made, but I don't think he wants to, like, bear down upon him, like, make sure you don't kill nobody,
I
Damian.
think they should have talked about, what he saw and what happened a little more because he should know that he's going to be coming up to this guy, and I'd never seen them talking much. He ended up, I mean, even since then, we have Damian with his prison, all these crazy things going on, so he ends up
a dark time.
going
he got better
into
after
here.
That.
Yeah. So they go off to, Dinosaur Island. They have to fend
was the
with
last
that.
blood that Damian will draw.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But, and how they're playing it will be. But, yeah, they end up where pterodactyls kind of are swarming. They're trying to get away. They realize they're not attacking them. They go through, but then they crash. Poor Goliath. And then Damian gets thrown. I don't know how he lives. But they're there. And they're there and like, okay. And Batman has the same mysterious energies. Goliath gets sent, stay here, boy, for some reason. And then they go off.
He just flew all that way. Stay here. You deserve a rest.
No, I don't think that. I think Goliath would have come. If I was there, I think Goliath would have been coming with me. But they end up seeing
you would have shot a horse in the desert because you rode it too far.
Well, the thing is, I mean, Goliath was flying around. I think he can take Damian on his back, but maybe Damian could have been in the Batwing. But still, Goliath still would have flown the whole way. And his arms are tired. But you end up where they look and they find these people. There's mention of Jurassic Park, so there's problems going on. But before that, you do see, and if you know Maya, you know right away that she's there in the trees. You see the outline, the invisible suit. She ends up going. And she goes to slice Damian, and then Batman's, at the ready. And Damian, no, she's on our side. She's on our. And he's, why'd you attack us? And they start making fun. of Batman
That's
as
just
they
how we
do.
say hi, old man.
Yeah, and then the best is if you're really going to go, there's a couple things that I think they miss out on because of the idea where Batman says, yes, I remember when your grandfather trained me to say hello by punching someone in the face. That's where Tom King got it. Like, that's what he does. He talks about that. I wish Damien would be like, yeah, you got to see how he says goodbye. But then she ends up saying, touche, and then they move on. But when Batman mentions anybody in her family, that's a little sore subject. But the whole play, though, is, how are they going to work this? How are they going to do? You do have them say, like, about, Bane and stuff as they were going to go. So they did have a little talk. I just think, I don't know. It just seemed like, and also, I don't think that Joshua Williams, I think he should have went more into Damien's anger. It just kind of happens. We know what it is.
Once he
just
sees
kind of
Bane,
sees him and goes off. But yeah, they go and see it's like Jurassic Park for a bunch of. The best is there's so many nonsense that Cobra Cult, shows up in this. It's so crazy.
Stealing dinosaurs
and injecting them with things, which certainly will they'll mutate or something like that.
Now they're
so
snake
crazy.
dinosaurs.
Yeah. So you have all this stuff going on, and it's okay. I like at one point they said, like, how did you track Bane? And Maya says, so I started looking at places where people disappear to. It's a laundry list of places you hate.
It's everything I hate that everybody disappears to, and I hope they stay disappeared there.
Guitarist Nanda Parbat, you don't hate, but we don't know what happened to it, right?
Last time I saw was Necropolis.
Yeah, and then Gem World, the works. I'm like, everything that Eric hates.
Dinosaur Island, Gem World, and Guitarist.
It's so funny. So funny when that happened. But here's the rub.
That's one of the things. She's talking about all the places that people disappear to. And for some reason, I know that like Maya worked with Damien previously, but they're still kind of green in my mind. They, especially her. She then helped out Damien to freaking follow John Kent around his school to make sure he stayed out of trouble, or I forget the exact reasons, but she was there for a little while. But now that she's tracking Bane, knows about Scutaris, Gemroad, all these things, it feels like we haven't seen her in a while, but it feels like it's above the pay grade from last we saw her.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. But even then, you have Cobra. It's just weird, like this weird it's not convoluted because they are there grabbing dinosaurs. Bane doesn't like it. He's playing. No, it feels more like Craven here. But he ends up where
that's the thing. He had the city of Bane. That didn't work out for him. Now he has the island
of Bane. Next, the continent of Bane. Everything's of Bane. So he's there, and he is stopping the Cobra Cult poachers, and Maya has to point out, listen,
without murdering.
He's not murdering people. I love how she says, he's not breaking backs. I'm like, all right. But yeah, he's hurting them and sending them away, destroying their equipment, all that going on. But he's not murdering them because he wants his island. And I'd love to see at some point where they go back to like his main base and he's got like puppets and things that he's ruling over. Like he's in this weird state where he's trying to do that. I'm surprised he doesn't capture these assholes and try to, make them his people.
I'm saying, the way it feels here, though, with the idea that Bane's not killing anybody in the Cobra Cult, just sending them on their way after breaking some bones and making sure that they stay off his island, it does seem for everything he's gone through the Joker series and then finding out about Vengeance, the daughter of Bane that was cloned from him, that this might be Bane becoming reformed after what happened to the city of Bane and killing Alfred and actually being sorry for it.
Yeah, to me, I don't think he's going to be reformed. To me, I think that he's just sick of that. He's sick of doing shit like that. It didn't work. He's pissed off and he just wants to be by himself and possibly at the end with his daughter.
Well, even that, I think being by the self with the daughter is a big deal as well, because we saw her like after the Joker series in the Azrael series where she was joining up with that cult to try to find meaning behind her life through the faith that they were putting out there. Now, I would say the cult, I think it was just St. Dumas is what it was. But the idea behind that, I'm like, I think he just needs Vengeance here as a way to teach her things without the programming that she was given as being a clone. To make it, because he's like, don't kill the Joker because that's what your programming wants you to do, and she couldn't help it. She needed to go after him.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. He only has a couple more issues till he's off the book, so we'll see if anything comes about from it. But yeah, I mean, I could go for that, seeing Vengeance kind of hanging with him and learning some stuff. But we'll see. And again, this book is always going to go through the lens of fathers and sons, fathers and daughters. It's always going to be that because of the Batman and Robin, and that's what Joshua Williamson has been pushing. So I don't expect Batman to... At one point, I do expect something to happen where Batman and Bane are kind of like not knocked out, but they're like kind of on the side, and they say like something like, kids, right? Like, I need that, and just have Bane just shake his head. Because I want to see what Damien does when, obviously
So do
he's
I.
going to go. I want to see him in Vengeance and see what goes on with that. We still have
Damian
Goliath
loses
in
his
the
shit and
deal.
try to take something away from Bane the way that Bane took something away from him and kill Vengeance.
Yeah, and you even get like the last bit of please, listen, not here, not in front of the boy. And Damian should first off, right at this point, right as this is happening, he gets so mad. First off, turn around and slap Batman. That guy was on vacation, dressed up like Tom Selleck, Magnum P.I. when this shit happened, and he didn't get the message of Damian. And then go after Bane. And then go after Bane. They're there with Catwoman on the beach. But yeah, he's going to go at it, and he's like, Bane is mine.
And not only go at it, he's going to ride a dinosaur into battle.
Yeah, well, Eric, we did see this kind of in Metal back in the deal.
Uh-huh.
He kind of did the same exact thing, but it's kind of cool. And yeah, you have Robin stop. I like that. That's the best is Batman does always maintain the, identity deal, which I do like. He says that, but yeah, they got to stop him because he's going. They run into a bunch of, dinosaurs. And then Vengeance comes in and says, leave my father alone. I don't know why you need that coat there on the island. She's got that big long coat. You don't need it.
It's a badass coat. I'm just upset that they don't have they have her in the full kind of Bane cowl besides for her mouth. I wanted her to have those long curly freaking hair that she had before, just sticking out the back. So I thought that really made her look cool.
Well, that was the first thing Bane made her do. You have to get with the brand. He made it cut the hair, but really cool when she has Batman just up by one hand and he's all trembling and stuff. It looks great. But yeah, I want to see what happens. And actually, I haven't said that in a lot of this series. A lot of the series we were going, come on now. Me and you knew from the beginning where just because Batman was yelling, hush, shush, we knew it was going to be. We're like, come on, just do it. But this is me wanting to oh crap, I want to see what happens. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, I like this issue, but what would you give it?
See, the thing is, it's an okay issue. It's just, hey, we get to Dinosaur Island, Maya tells us what's going on, and we run into battle, and it's over. I mean, it feels so quick, and that's something we know we're going after Bane, and hey, there's Bane, let's fight Bane, the end. And we don't even actually get to the point of fighting Bane.
No, not yet, but still more happened in this issue than a lot of the others. The others
was on Dinosaur Island.
And at least I know what's going on. The others in this series was Man-Bat yelling, Gotham's mine and my image. Damian would that be at soccer play and then leave. That's it. Done.
No.
Well,
there was way more convolutedness previously in Batman Robin where you had the Man-Bat doing DNA tests with freaking human
I'm just saying a random
people.
Issue. No,
and then a Man-Bat cult was just there, and then he was either poisoning people, turning them into Man-Bats, but if it happened to Man-Bat, he just turned back into Kirk Langstrom.
Yeah, all that stuff. And in the meantime,
this is way more straightforward and enjoyable.
Mistress Harsh is, this, and they even mentioned, I wonder if the new principal's going to hate me. Just imagine, the new principal shows up and it's like Two-Face with a mask on or so. It's going to be some bullshit. But all of a sudden, it's like, oh, here he is, the new professor from across the pond. Professor Pennyworth. Oh, no, it's Alfred. But yeah, here, I'm actually shocked that in this, if we may get back to it, actually. The idea of the Ghost Alfred, when Ghost Alfred was hanging with Damian and giving him a deal. Maybe we'll get that in this because that was, in the whole Robin series by Joshua Williamson. I wouldn't mind that. But what was your score?
I didn't give a score yet. I just don't feel like there's a whole lot of substance here. I think the art is great, and I think it actually has a decent direction for the first time in a long time in Batman Robin. So we'll give it a 6.8 out of 10.
Yeah, you are negative nasty, Eric. I could go as far as an 8 because of the art, but I'll dip it down to a 7.8 because you're right. Not a lot of progression of a story, but I do like what we got. I do like seeing Maya. Maybe he's getting me with fan service deal because he has Vengeance and Maya in the issue. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And it's a weird angle of what's going on with Bane and what's happening with him. And maybe he will say, listen, I didn't mean to do that. I was a little wacky at that point. I wanted the city. And, I did some weird stuff.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that,
weird.
but your crazy Flashpoint dad talked me into it.
Yeah, maybe that. He'll turn, he's like in the cave on the other side of the island with the cannibals. But yeah, I'm going to go 7.8.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.